Wow, so Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, and the Eagles just made a statement, as after tons of criticism of the Birds' passing game, among other talk, Hurts and the offense just absolutely shut the critics down as they lit up the Steelers' defense in what was a clear message sent to the rest of the NFL. And it wasn't just the offense who looked nearly unstoppable, as the defense is dominated too, on the way to what was a franchise record 10th straight win for the Birds. So we're going to talk about that and everything else from the Eagles' impressive win over the Steelers starting right now. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Philly Fan 21 channel. If you're new, I'm Evan, and I cover all things Philadelphia Eagles. And man, did that one feel good, as obviously the big story all week that everyone's been wanting to talk about for the Birds has been the issues with the passing game and also potential drama between Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown and so on and so on. But the Eagles just didn't seem to get the memo that there were supposed to be issues, as they went out there yesterday against a good Steelers football team and really just had their way on both sides of the ball, and that passing game that everyone was so concerned about looked pretty darn good, as the connection between Jalen Hurts and his receivers was on point. Hurts and A.J. Brown looked to be having fun, and the Birds offense had a big day through the air on the way to Philly's 10th straight win, which is now the longest win streak in franchise history, by the way. And what makes this even better is that the number one Lions also just lost to the Bills yesterday, which keeps the Eagles very much alive for the number one seed in the NFC. So safe to say that the vibes are high in Philadelphia right now. However, there was something that did come out a bit before the game that was maybe a little concerning to hear, as after popping up on the injury report this week with a left finger injury, Jalen Hurts was spotted with a cast on his left ring finger, leading to some reports by guys like Ian Rappaport saying that Hurts' finger was actually broken. And after the game, Hurts confirmed that to be true, while also saying that it did in fact have an impact on his game.
It is broken and it did impact my play.
How? You said you switched tougher to...
Yeah, I mean, it's broken, so yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I've known it's been at the state it's at all week, and I don't really want to put too much more into it. I can say it. I don't think it got any worse today. You know, if it's shattered, it's shattered. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah, so that's not great. I mean, there's no way around it. That being said, though, the silver lining, I guess, is that the injury at least isn't on his throwing hand, and as I'll talk about later in this video, even though Hurts said it did impact his play, it at least didn't really look like it had too much of an impact on his throws. Now, at times, he was handing it off backhanded to Saquon Barkley with his right hand, just because he didn't want to put it in his left hand, so he clearly was in a bit of pain. So it looks like this is just something that Hurts is going to have to deal with for the rest of the season, but hopefully it doesn't end up impacting him too much. And like I said, luckily in this game, it didn't appear to, as Hurts and the passing game were locked in from the jump, as on the first offensive play of the game, Hurts let it fly to Grant Calcaterra, which ended up being a gain of 22 yards, and then to follow it up, Hurts hit A.J. Brown on a slant for 7 yards, before he then hit DeVonta Smith on a crossing route for 21 yards, in a drive that ultimately, because of those 3 plays, ended up resulting in 3 points after Jake Elliott drilled the field goal from 34 yards out. So it was clear that the Eagles had made a point to establish the passing game early on and get Jalen Hurts into a rhythm, and it worked out great, as according to A.J. Brown, it gave the entire offense confidence moving forward.
That's good, man. It's good, man. I think the first drive was really good, man. DeVonta got going. I got going a little bit early, and it got the offense rolling. Even though we settled for 3. It gave everybody a lot of confidence. We moved the ball down the field. So,
like AJ said, I definitely think it meant a lot, at least confidence-wise, that both him and DeVonta were able to get some early touches and move the ball really well right out of the gates. And again, it was just great to get Jalen Hurts and the offense into an early rhythm with some quick throws, as the Birds clearly made that a point of emphasis early on. And this actually lines up perfectly with what ESPN's Jeremy Fowler said before the game on SportsCenter, as he outlined what he called the Eagles' pre-playoff plan to get the passing game going, as he said, quote, "The Eagles' pre-playoff plan for quarterback Jalen Hurts is on. Teams know you cannot win big unless you pass the ball in December and January. There's a feeling, at least with the Eagles and around the league, that Hurts can and will play better. So expect, and the Steelers are expecting, Hurts to get some easy, quick throws early in the game, whether it's some crossing routes or some slant things to get him going, especially with A.J. Brown." And in hindsight, Fowler ended up being 100% right, because that's pretty much exactly what happened. So credit to him for the good reporting there. And also, those plans didn't stop after that first drive, as Jalen Hurts in the passing game did eventually continue their onslaught through the air. Unfortunately, though, things were derailed a little bit on the Birds' second offensive drive of the game, as on a third down scramble, Jalen Hurts had the football punched out by TJ Watt in what was really just a phenomenal play by the Steelers star. And then, just when you thought the Eagles' defense saved the day by getting a stop, a fumble by Cooper DeJean on the ensuing punt return put the Steelers' offense on the Birds' 11-yard line, which is a horrible situation to say the least. Luckily, though, with the help of some Steelers Steelers penalties and a huge fight breaking out, Vic Fangio's unit was able to get a stop in the red zone and force a field goal, which tied the game at 3. So just an absolutely crucial stand by the defense there to not only get the Steelers offense off the field after that first fumble, but to also stand up and hold them to just 3 points after being put in that horrible situation after the DeJean fumble. And I mean, let's not let this go unnoticed, right? Because obviously Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown in the passing game are what's going to get all the headlines, but the defense really just had what was another incredible performance in this game. And like the passing game, they started fast as well, as they didn't allow a first down on the Steelers' first 5 drives of the ball game, and they were really just suffocating in every possible way, whether it was shutting down the run, blanketing guys in coverage, or getting after the quarterback. So, like I said, it was certainly a very impressive start for the defense. And after they were able to get that red zone stop, that's where Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, and the Eagles passing game took over, as QB1 opened up the drive by hitting AJ Brown on a little stop route for 16 yards, and then the pair connected again on the very next play as Hurts threw a perfect back shoulder ball, and AJ positioned himself perfectly to make the catch for a gain of 20. And then a couple plays later, the Birds wisely mixed in the run, which worked extremely well after all the success they had had through the air, as Barkley ran through what was a massive hole for 22 yards to set them up first and goal. And fast forward a couple plays, and the Birds found themselves in the end zone after Jalen Hurts hit AJ Brown over the middle for the touchdown to put them up 10-3. And to cap it off, Hurts and AJ did their signature celebration together, so I don't know about you guys, but everything seems to be perfectly fine with them to me.
For sure, that was our moment to tell everybody to shut up, honestly.
Oh, and by the way, that capped off what was a phenomenal first quarter for Hurts, as he was 8 for 8 on his throws with 104 yards, a touchdown, and a perfect passer rating. So, safe to say, it was an impressive start for QB1 and the passing offense, and a bounce back at that after the lackluster performance last week. So, DeVonta Smith, what do you think the difference was in the passing offense from last week to this week?
Just being on the same page.
How'd you get there?
Constantly just talking through things. Knew what the defense was going to give us, made a few adjustments, and just roll with it.
I'm sure you guys thought that it'd be a game where you have to pass like this. Does it feel pretty good that you're able to make it happen when you needed to?
Yeah, I mean, we always knew that it was going to come a time when we need to rely on throwing the ball, and it happened, and we were there to answer.
It's just great to see that when the Eagles' passing offense finally needed to step up and have a big game, they did that. And it wasn't just on those first couple early drives, as it continued on throughout the rest of the game, including the Birds' next offensive possession where a 17-yard third down conversion from Hurts to Brown kickstarted things before Kenneth Gainwell caught a pass for 16 yards and set Philly up first and goal. And then Jalen Hurts capped off the drive with his second touchdown pass of the first half, this time finding DeVonta Smith from 2 yards out to go up 17-3. So at this point, nearly everything was going right for the Eagles, as offensively they were rolling in, the passing game was really starting to heat up, and then defensively, again, they were just suffocating in pretty much every possible way. Unfortunately, though, the Steelers did start to put together a response towards the end of the first half, as they drove the length of the field on their next drive, and they winded up getting into the end zone as Russell Wilson went to tight end Pat Freiermuth on third down, and he came down with a contested catch to bring the score to 17-10. And then, after the Eagles' offense was stopped, the Steelers were on the move again, but luckily, a sack by Nolan Smith eventually led to Pittsburgh's drive stalling out, but still, they got 3 points to bring the score even closer, 17-13. Luckily, though, that's where the damage stopped, as the Eagles completely took over things in the second half. And don't worry, we're going to get into that in just a minute, but real quick, I do want to say, if you are enjoying this video and you don't want to miss any other Eagles coverage or content just like this coming throughout the rest of this entire season, then make sure you subscribe, and also really, really importantly, turn on notifications so you're notified instantly when one of these videos is uploaded. Trust me, you guys are not going to want to miss any of the Eagles coverage or content I got coming on this channel. I cover the Birds pretty much daily here, so if you want to stay up to date on all the latest Eagles news, this is the spot. So again, subscribe and turn on notifications, and also drop a like down below, because that really helps me out a ton. Let's see if we can get to 800 likes today. And now, with all that being said, let's get back into the video. So the Birds offense took the field to start the second half, and they started rolling once again. Unfortunately, though, a holding penalty from Tyler Steen ultimately killed the drive in Steelers territory, so the Birds had to settle for a field goal, which Jake Elliott drilled to put them back up 7. Luckily for them, though, they got a bit of a break on the Steelers' ensuing drive, as Najee Harris simply just dropped the ball on a toss play, and then the Birds' defense, and specifically Darius Slay, capitalized as they recovered the ball. And this is where the Eagles were really able to take control of this game, as the offense put together a really nice drive where they mixed in both the pass and the run. Jalen Hurts had a really nice 23-yard dash on a QB draw. Kenny Gainwell made another really, really important play as he caught a dump-off pass on 3rd and 9 short of the sticks, but he ran through a couple defenders to get the first down, and and then set the Birds up 1st and goal, and eventually they shoved it into the end zone, putting them up 27-13 on what was Jalen Hurts' 3rd touchdown of the day. And again, Kenny Gainwell deserves a ton of credit for this score as he had that big play to set it up, but also just his overall performance in this game was huge as he had a few other really nice plays too. So shout out to him. And after the game, multiple of his teammates made sure to do just that.
Big time, man. A lot of respect for Kenneth and the things that he do. Coming in, when he do come in, he makes plays all the time. The big 3rd down conversion that he had. Can't say enough about Kenny.
I'm not surprised that whatever Kenny does, I'm not surprised. Because he does it in practice. Whatever opportunity that he gets at practice, we see it on the film, and then we're not surprised that he makes those plays in the game. Because he does that all the time. And he does it time and time again. When his number is called, he's always pushing to make a play, and that's why we love Kenny.
Again, just huge shout out to Kenny G for his impactful performance. And at this point, now with a 14-point lead, the Eagles were in full control, and yet another defensive stop gave the Eagles offense a chance to ice the game, but it wouldn't be easy as they were pinned back on their own 3-yard line, and there was 10 minutes and 29 seconds left on the game clock. But if there's any team that knows exactly how to close a game out on offense, it's the Philadelphia Eagles. As they proceeded to put together an absolutely unreal drive that lasted a whopping 21 plays, there were several big plays mixed in there, one being a 21-yard pass to A.J. Brown early in the drive. They also had a pass over the middle to DeVonta Smith that went for 22 yards and got a big 1st down after lost yardage. And then later, they also had a big 19-yarder to A.J. Brown, which he actually fumbled, but DeVonta Smith luckily got right back on it. And really, the key to this drive was that they just kept finding ways to convert 3rd and 4th downs and move the chains. And before you knew it, the game was over and the Eagles had won by a final score of 27-13. After again, this super impressive drive helped them salt the game away. And Jordan Mailata actually broke down that drive after the game.
I mean, I don't know. We just keep seeing the clock come down, but we look at the 3rd down. We're like, all right, let's get this 1st down and keep playing the next play. And next thing you know, we're at the 2-minute mark. We're like, shh. That time flew by just like that. And now you're like, all right, what's the situation? Coach goes over this every Saturday. You're like, what's the situation? All right, they have 1 timeout left, or 0 timeouts. So, all right, we got to get this 1st down here. And, everyone had that got a habit mindset, and that was pretty cool to see in the huddle. Everyone was keen on just getting the 1st down, moving the chains, and keep the time of possession up. So.
I think it goes without saying that you just rarely ever see teams close out games like the Birds did on that drive. I mean, going 21 plays, 88 yards, 10 minutes, and 29 seconds on one of the best defenses in the league to salt it out is just absolutely unreal. And once again, as was the theme of the day, the Birds did a lot of their damage through the passing game on this drive, and what was really just the capper on a statement performance for them. As after all the questions regarding the Eagles' passing game and people criticizing Jalen Hurts and just all the noise of this past week, they came out there and shut everybody up as Jalen Hurts went 25 for 32 on his throws for 290 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns, and a 125.3 rating. And to add on to that, both A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith had good games as well, as they had 8 catches for 110 yards and a touchdown, and 11 catches for 109 yards and a touchdown respectively. So again, they clearly sent a message to the rest of the league with that performance that, hey, they aren't just a threat running the ball, but they can be dominant passing the ball too. And that's the message that Jalen Hurts made sure to drive home after the game.
So that's what y'all want to see, huh?
Did you come in thinking you were going to pass like that at the beginning of the game, or was it based on how they were playing?
As we've said before, this, multiple ways to win, and that was kind of where we leaned today. When you're able to win in multiple ways, obviously talented and the opportunities are there, but it comes down to having good discernment of when to do something and when not to. And so we want to, I've always said and believe that you want to make sure that all of your tools are sharp when you need them. So when it's time to use them, you can go. And I don't think there's a doubt in that. I think, frankly, there's an effort there. The approach was a little different this week, and the grass will be green where you water it, and we decided to water it, and kind of saw the fruits of our labor in that. Obviously, we've been watering the running game a good bit, and it's kind of natural to put an emphasis on one thing and kind of take an emphasis off of another and see what you guys have kind of seen. And so, we want to just continue to be well-rounded, push to be well-rounded and water all areas of our yard.
Man, I just absolutely love this. Like, obviously, you want to be sharp in all areas, especially when you get to the playoffs. So the fact that the Eagles recognized that they needed to be better in the passing game, then placed a heavier emphasis on it this week and fixed it, and then actually went out and proved that they can be a team that dominates through the air is absolutely huge. And again, I think it sends a clear message to the NFL that, hey, this offense is not one-dimensional, but they can beat you in a variety of different ways, whether it's running the ball or passing it.
Hey! You want us to run it? We can run it. Yeah. You want us to pass it? How about that pass? Yeah. Defense, stopping them on short fields was incredible. You guys played your ass off as a group together. Awesome job, defense. Remember, right? That was a tough win against a tough team. Hungry, humble. All right, it's more than just this. It's more than getting this win. We just want to keep getting better, hungry and humble. We got a lot to be thankful for. We're working. We're getting to work on Monday.
Man, I mean, this team just looks special. That was a great team win over a good team in the Steelers, and I really just could not be much happier with what I saw out on that field. But that being said, what did you guys think? Give me all your thoughts on the Eagles win over the Steelers down in the comments below. And also, again, if you don't want to miss any other Eagles coverage or content coming throughout the rest of the season, then make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. And also, again, make sure you drop a like to show some support if you did enjoy this video, because it really does help me out a ton. Again, let's see if we can get to 800 likes today. And also, if you want to watch another Eagles video, you can check this out right here. And now with all that being said, that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.